Did you really believe that the tumultuous situation involving Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa Shields couldn't get much worse, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on, because this love affair has suddenly become a full-fledged crime scene due to Remy's firstborn son. We're discussing flying fists, street cries, and a betrayal so intimate that soap operas are taking notice. Because, let's just say, Jason Scott, who is Ray's own blood, didn't leave when he saw Papoose cuddling up to Claressa outside that Harlem gym last night. He sprinted in his direction with purpose. Ever witness a violent outburst of loyalty? You have, then. The worst part is about to come. In addition to getting caught in the act with Claressa, Papoose was also apprehended by the lone witness. Her son, Remy, cried when the cameras weren't rolling. He's not here for the drama either. His goal is justice. Justice in the street. There is security footage available. There are eyewitnesses tweeting. Additionally, Remy only added a single word to her story. Well deserved. Let's dissect the video, the controversy, and the altercation that is a pending hip-hop. Because this is crazy. It began similarly to other Harlem at night. The streets were alive with activity. The vitality of spring was in the air. And a scandal was just waiting to blow up somewhere between a late-night boxing session and a smoothie after working out. Since precisely 9:37 p.m. 3 lives collided outside a 24-hour gym on Lenox Avenue, altering the course of one of hip-hop's most famous love tales and shocking spectators. The fitness center's now-deleted social media footage, 2 eyewitnesses, and a front security camera filmed what is currently being discussed online. Claressa Shields and Papoose strolling side by side. Yes, the boxing champion, the unbeaten athlete, and the woman who has been widely linked to Remy Ma and Papoose's collapse is Claressa Shields. Connection. According to one witness, the two were moving like a couple who didn't care who saw them, laughing and conversing intently. That alone would have raised suspicions. However, they were unaware that Remy Ma's Jason Scott, his son, was observing. Jason was unaware that his night was going to take a nasty turn as he sat by himself in a black SUV parked across the street behind tinted windows. He was reportedly waiting for a pal. Some claim that he had been following them around for days. This is what we are certain of. He got out of the car and headed directly for Papoose and Claressa as soon as he saw them. At first, there were no words. There was only one clean, cutting blow, no hesitancy, no building. Onlookers believed the punch was faked since it came so quickly. However, it wasn't. That was 23-year-old Jason Scott, ferociously devoted and uncontrollably angry. Papoose lost his balance after the punch. He lost his balance, collided with the side of a parked car, and attempted to get back up while raising both hands in what seemed to be a protective position. However, the harm had already been done. The second punch was quicker than the first. It was a message, not a battle. This is how one eyewitness put it. This seemed personal, as if it had been simmering for a while. He wasn't fiercely swinging. He was aware of his actions. Claressa froze. She didn't shout. She did not step in. She just slowly retreated, her body rigid, her eyes wide, taking in all that was going on in front of her. Reports state that she turned and left without a single word. Shortly after, she was spotted boarding a black vehicle that drove off down the street. The altercation lasted less than a minute, but the consequences will continue for a very long time. Let's go back in time and examine why this struck so strongly and why Jason, of all people, decided to act. We're not discussing a stranger, to start. This boy witnessed Papoose restrain his mother during her incarceration. The same son who dubbed him a role model, who shared birthday celebrations with him, and who once told a podcast host that Papoose is the reason I think men can be faithful. Thus, when not only was it betrayal, but Jason witnessed Papoose strolling the streets with the same lady Remy had publicly warned about. It was evidence that Papoose's previous values had crumbled under Stress. Additionally, based on many leaked messages that were acquired by according to people close to Jason, this was not a one-time meeting. According to screenshots taken by a close friend whose identity we are keeping secret, Jason had a private confrontation with Papoose only a week prior. "I told you I don't care what people think," one message said. "My mother has experienced that. You go out there with her adversary and believe I should keep quiet." That altercation didn't make headlines, but what transpired outside the gym did, and by the time the cops showed up, the internet had already seized the narrative. Scenes were posted on social media, and the hashtag began to trend. Watchers slowed down the video frame by frame, examining Papoose's response, Claressa's attitude, and even the hoodie Jason was wearing. Sporting one that said, "Protect what raised you," in large letters. Within 2 hours, YouTube and Instagram commentators deluged the timeline with analysis, responses, and questions that no one could answer. Where was Remy Ma? Why was Claressa with Papoose at all? Most importantly, why did Jason feel he had to take action? Although none of the parties have made official remarks, we do have a digital trail. Claressa had shared a now-deleted Instagram story earlier that night. "Some people still need to learn how to let go," reads the caption of a picture of a gym locker room. A local trainer had tagged Papoose in a post that said, "Great work tonight, bro," that same evening. "Genuine ones always recover." Hours later, however, the most terrifying revelation was revealed. After a completely silent night, Remy Ma shared a black screen on her Instagram story at 4:12 a.m. with the simple caption, "Actions mean more." She didn't provide any details or tag anyone. But the message was loud. The animosity between Remy and Papoose has been steadily increasing for months, with Claressa publicly denouncing industry women posing as wives and suspicions of infidelity and viral live feeds. However, nobody anticipated that Remy's kid would be the first to reveal the truth, and yet here we are. By morning, pictures of Papoose entering a neighboring urgent care center appeared online. Police have not verified whether charges will be brought, but the physical, emotional, and reputational harm has already been done. He was seen holding a cloth to his face, beaten, and with a man who was thought to be his cousin. Whether you believe Jason went too far or that he did what many sons would do if they witnessed their mother being treated with such disdain, one thing is certain, this is about a family in disarray, not simply a fight. Allegiance that broke. A legacy that might never be restored. The rumors started as the video paused, and by dawn, the battle had evolved from a single incident to a movement. 100 so-called insiders, 1,000,000 opinions, and 1,000 tales all had something to say at once, but underneath the trending hashtags and viral videos was something that no one possessed, the truth, and it began with Claressa Shields. Claressa's team sent a general statement to a sports media site within hours of the event, saying, "Claressa Shields is not involved in any personal dispute." After a fight broke out between 2 other people, she fled the public gym where she was 2 other people. Therefore, we're ignoring the fact that she was actually there, strolling next to the man who raised Jason, and that she has been connected to Papoose for months, not just through online rumors, but also by her own social media posts, appearances at concerts, and an unsettlingly flirtatious radio interview. Claressa wanted to disappear from the story, but the story wouldn't allow her because minutes after she made her statement, a voicemail purportedly from one of Claressa's close friends appeared. The voice was female, confident, and shaky. She claimed that she warned Papoose not to attend that night since she knew the son was around. She warned him, but he still turned up. Let's take a moment to consider this. It appears that Claressa not only knew about the tension, but also attempted to avert it. In any case, people weren't buying it. The comment sections became nasty. And instead of calling her a victim, they were calling her Remy Ma remained silent, sending no tweets, reposts, or whispers. But what the internet was unaware of, at least not yet, was that Remy had communicated with her son less than an hour after the confrontation, according to family sources, including a Jason emailed his mother a voice memo just after the incident. According to a former aide who has since deleted her Instagram account. "We haven't heard it, but here's the purported transcription. I didn't intend to beat him like that. I did it because I remembered how she looked after she found out. Not because I wanted to gain influence. I saw them, how they looked at one another, and everything I needed to. We're talking about agony now, not just drama or gossip, real pain. What was the internet doing? That statement, which I recall how she looked after learning, hit like a second punch. In an exaggerated animation, one YouTuber even reproduced the entire altercation. Another attempted to lip repeat Claressa's look in the video, implying that she mouthed the phrase, "please," right before leaving away. It had settled into a state of contentment, but the subsequent events brought everything down to earth. A police report that was filed anonymously revealed Jason, although Papoose was not specifically named in the report, the location, time, and context made it clear that Scott was a person of interest in an ongoing investigation related to a physical assault that resulted in bodily harm. The media jumped in. Headlines, even though there was no confirmation, the words "charged," "booked," and "arrest imminent" ran. What did Jason do? He vanished, leaving behind no new posts, no online activity, and not even a seen status on previous communications. Because the media wanted a mugshot, but Remy Ma apparently wanted something else, distance. One insider close to the Scott family said he was encouraged to keep off the radar, not just legally but emotionally. She was astonished, angry, and torn. She didn't support the violence, but she wasn't criticizing her son either. In fact, she allegedly told someone on her team that he did what many people talk about, but never really let that sink in. He stood up for his mother. A mother may have silently concurred behind all the silence. Let's turn back to Papoose, the second male in this triangle. After the fight, he was transferred to a private clinic, avoiding ERs to keep things quiet, but in this field, nothing goes quiet for long. According to reports, a medical professional sent information to a friend, who then shared it with a covert blog. A fractured wrist from impact with the vehicle, mild facial trauma, swelling near the eye, and no evidence of retaliation, just defense, were reported. The last sentence stated, the patient seemed more hurt emotionally than physically. Which logically, as for Papoose, this was about more than just fists. It was about legacy, love, and loyalty that broke under duress. How do you recover from that? You're the man who supported Remy during her incarceration, reared her son. It's cinematic, painful, and far from over. You're the one lying on the sidewalk with that same son standing over you after praising mom in interviews and writing rhymes about her courage. New evidence emerged in the days that followed. A different angle from a neighboring automobile dash cam revealed something that the initial movie missed: Claressa holding Papoose's hand just before Jason got out of the SUV. It was just enough, not spectacular, for folks to remark, "See, that's why he snapped." Everything blew up again after the video went viral on Twitter, and it wasn't just about who was punching the other person. When it came to the reason for the punch, things became even more confusing. According to an anonymous direct message submitted to a celebrity gossip blog, Claressa and Papoose had been covertly dating for months, even as Remy, and there were dinners, hotel stays, and even a leaked voicemail in which Claressa joked, "Tell Remy, thanks for warming the seat," according to the insider, who said that Papoose were working on things in private. This hasn't been confirmed by us. However, the page still published it because this is the online. The narrative took a new turn once the message went public, and people stopped asking, "Did Jason go too far? Why didn't he go further?" they asked. But this is the most important thing. Remy Ma is the one voice we haven't heard from amidst all the headlines and hot takes. She has shared a few old pictures, cryptic captions, and hazy recollections, but not a single straight statement about the man who raised the world is waiting, because if this had been about fists and feelings, it would have died in a news cycle. Her quiet speaks more than anything she could say, whether it was about her son or the woman who stood beside him that night. Is about honor, history, legacy, and what happens when those closest to you openly betray you. As we go into part 3, we reveal the unforeseen fallout, including possible legal action, secret recordings, and the shocking message that might have just slipped from inside. Keep watching. What began with a fist may now conclude with a lawyer. What was said? Who Is suing whom? Did Papoose just seek legal protection against Remy's own family? Because this family battle has escalated from private anguish to possible legal warfare in the days after Jason Scott and Papoose's violent brawl, according to several reports, and Papoose has started seeking legal advice in response to the altercation. Sources close to his team claim that he is recording everything, including every conversation, message, and bruise, even though no formal complaint has been filed, at least not yet. The reason for this is that more is going on behind the scenes than anyone anticipated. A source close to the legal community claims that Papoose is thinking of requesting a restraining order against Jason Scott, not because he wants to go to jail or exact retribution, but because, as he has yet to publicly state, I never thought I'd need protection for my own family. If it does, however, the internet will explode once more because, let's face it, how can you even comprehend that sentence? This is the same man that used to take Jason to school. The man who got Remy's name tattooed and stood outside the prison gates for years, who called him my son on national television, is apparently filing to ensure Jason never again comes within 100 feet of him. This isn't just personal anymore. It's legal. And it's not only Papoose who's acting. Claressa Shields has been cleaning up quickly, even if she still keeps quiet in private and in public. One of her old PR consultants, who quit her team only a month ago, says she has already contacted image restoration companies and crisis managers, and she is aware that this is more than simply negative publicity, as they stated that it might follow her into any field she joins, whether it be the media or boxing. And she's attempting to remove her name from it. The issue is that you can't remove what has already been captured since, as most people were watching the altercation, a leaked audio recording that purportedly came from inside the Scott home surfaced. People assume it's about Claressa, but that's only the portion they see. They don't know how long I've been there. The voice is low, serious, and measured, and it sounds like Jason waiting to say it. I regret not saying it sooner. Those final remarks are currently being shared on all social media platforms, including blogs, Reels, TikTok voiceovers, and Remy Ma. She has yet to make any public statements, but late Thursday night, a private voicemail purportedly from Remy to a close friend was leaked, in which she states, "I didn't ask him to do that. I can't lie. I understand why things went that far, even though I didn't want it to. I didn't feel what I had anticipated when I saw who he had struck." This is the gray area, where morality divides, and the sentence is disturbing because it makes it clear that Remy did not condone the attack, but she also did not lament it. The public demands answers, but they're not getting any. Remy is torn between two men, one she raised and one who assisted in raising him, and must decide which to support. This is when familial loyalty crosses the line into vigilante behavior. Instead, they are receiving power plays. According to industry insiders, Papoose is reportedly pulling out of a number of joint business endeavors he once had with Remy, including publishing rights and performance royalties. Contracts are currently being examined. Jason's situation is still unknown, and he hasn't been arrested, so no, money is being separated. This isn't just a breakup, it's a divorce of empires. Although the warrant has been made public, Papoose's identity is still being investigated, and attorneys from both sides are braced for the next development. Some people think Papoose won't file charges, while others think he's waiting for a final betrayal before doing so. But now that another bombshell has surfaced, the pressure is mounting. According to one of Claressa's old sparring partners, who trained with her during her Florida camp, Papoose and Claressa were spotted checking into a Miami hotel 2 months ago under separate names. If you believe that, it's more than treachery, it's a history, a plan, a secret reality behind every public grin, and it transforms the punch from an act of wrath into an act of final disclosure. It indicates that the relationship wasn't just genuine, but active long before this battle. Since Jason might not have been responding to what he saw, perhaps he already knew everything. And that night was Judgment Day. What now happens to a hip-hop family that was once a symbol of tenacity but is now broken by silence? What happens to Remy Ma, whose name is suddenly at the center of a scandal she never discussed? What happens To Papoose, who was once regarded as the model for loyalty but is now caught in the middle of crosshairs of the same boy he reared. Claressa may legally leave this clean, but the internet isn't forgiving, and her name is now associated with a moment that will accompany her into every interview, press conference, and ring. Has already gone viral twice, and she hasn't uttered a word. Jason is viewed as either brave or irresponsible, but one thing is certain, he did what most people can only contemplate. Didn't publish, tweet, or vent online, instead, he arrived and altered the story himself. Remy may never address it openly, but a tweet endorsed by her official the statement, "Sometimes the ones who fight for you were watching when you forgot who you were," sums up the account perfectly. More than 800,000 people have liked the post so far. Additionally, in a society where PR announcements and phony apologies are common, perhaps we will never be able to hear her true feelings till that point. This controversy was about more than simply a love triangle or treachery. It was about what happens when genuine suffering ceases to be mute. It was about a son. The question now is yours. Was Jason Scott out of line? A line that was crossed. Could not be crossed again, and now there is nothing left but quiet between them for the time being. Was Papoose a victim of violence, or was he a man who believed no one was looking when he crossed the line? And is Claressa merely a bystander in someone else's war, or did he do what every faithful son imagines when they witness their mother being mistreated in public? Or the spark that ignited the fuse? Because one thing is certain: after the fists, the silence, the voice notes, and the legal actions, this family might never be the same again. If you believe the narrative is finished, you should reconsider. Since the whole truth is still unknown, will Remy Ma finally talk? Will Claressa finally speak? Will charges be brought? Or will she simply continue to run more than one battle? This is a legacy being threatened, so don't just observe from a distance. Instead, jump in, hit subscribe, activate those alerts, and leave a comment. Leave a comment below. Do you support Remy's? Is this the start of the end, son? For all those concerned? Due to the fact that the following twist, you'll hear it approaching first here. Keep an eye